Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Frost and welcome back to another Black Ops Cold War video. Hell yeah, hopefully you guys are doing well. Now, as you can tell by the title, this is the XM4 gun setup review thing, I guess. Basically, it's just a guide on the attachments and stuff I use on the XM4. I'm going to be taking you through the attachments I use and why I use them. And yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Happy Halloween as well, that's when this video goes up. And yeah. With that being said, let's get into this, shall we? Alrighty, let me show you what I'm going to be, the attachments I use for the XM4. We'll go over it. I personally like to run Gunfighter with the 8 attachments. It just kind of feels better because we are going for a kind of no recoil, we're going for a low recoil, high firepower gun is what we're going for. Obviously, the likes of tactical, lethal and food upgrades, you can run whatever you want. I just run these for the sake of it. As for perks, again, really it is your choice. However, I do recommend Scavenger always because this thing runs out of ammo so fast with what I put on it. And Secondary is also your choice. But enough of that. Let's get into the XM4. Now, for the Optic, I like to run the Microflex LED. It's a clean sight, I like it. It's, not bulky, doesn't take up too much of the screen, good reticle. Basically, this is what I use all the time in basically all the weapons. So yeah, I really like the Microflex LED. However, scopes don't really matter, and if you do want to run another one, feel free to do so. As for the muzzle, I use the SOCOM Eliminator. Basically what this does is gets rid of recoil and also muzzle flash concealment. Now granted, you do a little bit of horizontal recoil, but you can strafe from left to right, who gives a fuck, right? The XM4 has very little recoil to begin with, so having this helps quite a lot. As for the barrel, I use the 13.5 inch Task Force as it increases the damage, the bullet velocity and damage range, meaning you can get those more effective shots. However, as you can see, it does mess up your recoil, but as I said, the recoil on this thing is minimal. As for the body, I just use the steady aim laser. You don't ultimately, you can run whatever you want on this. You don't even need it technically, but I just like using the laser. For the underbarrel, I use the field agent grip because of the recoil control. Now you do lose a bit of shooting move speed, but you know what, it's okay. You win some, you lose some. As for the magazine, I use the 40 round. You can go 50 or 45 if you really want to, up the ammo count, but I use 40 because I feel like it's kind of like a nice center point. As for the handle, I use the airborne elastic wrap because of all the it basically gets rid of your flinch resistance by like a significant amount, and that's always good in a gunfight. And you want to aim while going prone if you're a campy tryhard, but it's a bonus. And you also get 30% ADS time, so always a bonus. And for the stock, I use the Raider pad because you get a better sprint to fire time and an aim walking movement speed. And yeah, ultimately you don't need to use these, these are just my suggestions on what to use. You can use your own, but that's what I run. And yeah, let's get on with the rest of the video, shall we? So as I stated when I was showing you my attachments, I said we're going for a high firepower, low recoil kind of setup, and that's what this setup does. Basically, in the two clips I've got to show you from two pretty decent games, I'd say, you're going to see how well this is. If you're not aware, the XM4 is a fucking power machine. You're not going to win every gunfight. Unless you're like some sort of god. However, it will help you a lot, especially if you go your own setup. I also want to point out, you don't have to use the attachments I listed. If you have your own kind of setup, you're more than welcome to put it in the comments or whatever. These are just the ones I recommend if you want to get into the XM4. It's an easy gun to get into, it's very fun. As I said, there is better options to pick from, especially now in the game's kind of through its life cycle. But these are just ones I like to run purely for the fun of it. The XM4 is nostalgic to me because it is the Commando from Black Ops 1. I love the Commando in Black Ops 1 and I love this thing, so it just kind of makes sense. These kind of videos will be not necessarily the most common things I'll be doing in Call of Duty, but if you didn't watch my Call of Duty kind of what I want to do with it in the future video, which is, basically there's a big playlist of Call of Duty videos that well, not big, but playlist of Call of Duty videos. You can watch that video if you feel like it. I said I want to move into weapon guides. Well, here's your first one. I've already listed why I use the attachments, and as well, I didn't mention kill streaks. Really, it doesn't matter what kill streak you run whatever you want to, and most of the time you're going to run the classics like the UAV, or the spy plane, or the counter spy plane, you know, whatever suits you. I'm not a very good player, so I don't go for things like the chopper gunner and the gun shit, but maybe you are. Maybe you get very lucky, or just a sweaty tryhard. Who knows, right? I don't know you. I don't know your playstyle, but basically this gun actually does suit a lot of playstyles. And I know you're probably thinking I'm rambling and just trying to like make filler, and to an extent you're right, but it actually does suit a lot of playstyles, depending if you're it depends on what your playstyle is, but it suits a lot of them. If you're aggressive, it suits it. If you're more defensive and campy, it suits that. It's just a very versatile setup to run, you know what I mean? And as I said, low recoil, high firepower. In a lot of instances, if you shoot fast and you know, you will get the kill, as you know most gunfights do in Call of Duty, but sometimes, you know, not always. But this thing melts, let me tell you. Once you get used to it, it melts like a son of a bitch. It's utter mental. And yeah, this is just kind of why I like using it, really. Yeah, I mean, it's an all-round solid weapon. Let's be real. If you've ever played Cold War, chances are you've used this gun. It is just a very solid weapon. And I mean, it doesn't have much recoil to begin with, and it has a pretty decent fire rate and firepower to begin with as well. But, as I said, you want the best of the best. And that's why you might be watching this video, or maybe you're trying to pick up the XM4 and try and learn it because it's not really your playstyle. Oh, I feel like I should point out, for the future of these types of videos, I know it doesn't have anything to do with the XM4, but because it's the first one I'm doing, it's kind of like a setting the footing, I guess you could say, where like, if this video does well, I'll know to do more, instead of just, because right now my plan is to do one, and it'll be my favourite gun from each Call of Duty that comes out from here on out, if that makes sense. This is my favourite gun in this game, currently. And so, it'll probably be along that line, if that makes sense. But if the videos do well, then I might do a bit more, but no promises, okay, no promises. But yeah, back to the XM4, shall we? The gun itself is absolutely amazing. I know I've said that like so many times, but genuinely it's the truth, alright? Like, the gun is absolutely brilliant. It will, even if you're not exactly the best player, like, no one's the best player, I guess, but even if you're like utter trash of the trash, lowest lobby, you're not doing well, you've had a bad day and it's affecting your gameplay, whatever the instance may be, right? Pull out this thing. Now, you don't have to run the same setup as I do, however it is fun if you do, you know, maybe give it a shot, you know, if you're open-minded, but you don't have to. I'm just saying, use this gun to win, because it will help you. And also, yes, you are seeing in the gameplay that my War Machine gameplay is shite. I am aware my War Machine gameplay is shite. I don't use the War Machine much. I just like, you know, I prefer other things, but I use it sometimes. Just a bit shite with it. But yeah, anyway, this gun, I think, as I said, it's not overpowered, but it's not, you know, there's a fine line between just another gun and overpowered. It's like slap bang in the middle of that, if that makes sense. And you're probably like, what the fuck are you talking about? But trust me, use this gun, because it's hard to describe with words, but use this gun and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Because, granted, you won't do well with it every single game. That really depends on, you know, your gameplay. But it will help you in a lot of situations because the fast fire rate, the low recoil, and the firepower, which is what you want in a gun, which is why I'm helping you in this video. But yeah, that's it. You know, I'm keeping it short and sweet. It's 10 minutes, you know, just telling you why you should use it. I've been your boy Frost. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Do you want to see more of them in the future? Let me know. Yeah, peace.